Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are going to fake a lace closure again on a wig, and this time I'm using kinky straight hair. I do want to try this method with a lot of different hair textures, so if there's a texture you want to see, let me know. And this hair is from Asteria hair. It is kinky straight, 16 inches, 3 bundles. You will not need more than 3 bundles. I feel like companies give you more hair when they give you kinky straight hair. It's always very bulky and you never run out. At least that's been my experience with like every company, so you don't need more than 3 bundles. And I am going to go ahead and get started, you guys. I'm using this wig cap. This is the one that I like, and I'll have it down in the description box and I'll show you guys what it looks like. It's a mesh wig cap, not the dome style that's solid, you can see through it. And I also have lace. And I didn't realize until after I made the wig and I did a quick Google search that you can actually get a wig cap that has the lace on it. So what I'm gonna do here is sew the lace down and make it part of the wig cap, because the lace area is where the part is going to be. But you don't have to do this. I will link a cap that already has the lace built in, so you don't have to do this specific part. In fact, you can skip, and I'll have a timeline down below so you can see pretty much everything that I'm doing, so you can skip to the next part. But after sewing it down, I went under, and this is where you'll screw up if you do buy a lace closure, of course without the hair. If you do buy the lace piece, do not just cut, okay? I thought I separated the lace from the cap, but I didn't, and it's very lightweight, so it's very easy to accidentally cut it, and that's the mistake that I made, which I wasn't even upset about because it's low-key a blessing in disguise, because I placed the lace incorrectly anyway. I was supposed to put it on the side because I'm doing a side part with a curved part. So it was a blessing in disguise. I wasn't even mad. I just threw everything away and I went ahead and did it over. It doesn't take long at all. It's not a big deal. And I pushed the lace over to the side so I could make it a side part. So now you can see on the side of the wig cap that I'm putting the lace right there. That is where my part is going to be, and you can see the seam right there of the wig cap under the lace. The part is going to curve right there, and I flipped it over after sewing it down, and this time I'm making sure I separate the lace from the cap, and then I cut the cap. Basically, under the lace, everything there gets cut off, cut it out, all of it, so that you can have an open area and you can work nicely on your wig, because you don't want any of this when you actually wear your unit. You just want to see the lace. And after cutting it out, you can go back in and sew to make it neat, but I chose not to do that. I'm flipping the wig right back over, and this is what it looks like. So let's get started on this part. I am going to use this as a guide. This is the packaging that the wig cap came in, and it has a nice little curve on it. I cannot draw in curves. I can't even draw a straight line, honestly. So I'm using the curve to determine how my part is going to curve on the unit, and that is what I'm doing. You can use a saucer or something. You can use anything that curves, or just cut out a circle, semicircle on a piece of paper and do that. And that's what I've done right there. I have about 3 millimeters in that gap, and that is going to be my part. Now, this is the hair, and one thing you can do, it's optional. I only say this because I've used hair with wefts that are different, but the thickness of the weft, you can use that to determine your next part where you're going to draw in. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys, because I'm going to curve around just like the first piece that I made, or section that I made. I'm curving around about 3 millimeters on each side, and then I'm going to draw in the middle. That's where the part is going to go. and you have those two open areas, it's kind of like the red zone. You're not gonna place any hair there until the last minute. So the first thing that you're going to do after you draw that structure, that's our guide, is you're gonna place some hair right on the outside of that. The hair should be on the outside, and the hair should be falling going toward the midline. So you're gonna put your weft down and the hair is going to go to the middle of the part. That's where it's going to fall, and make sure it goes along the curve. You can check and see if it's going along the curve and if it's right on the outside of the lines. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you just want it there so you can have perfect spacing. And make sure you pin at least 4, okay? Put at least 4 pins there so you can have a nice guide and it's curving and you can see that there's a curve as you go. And I'm gonna sew going all the way up to the very top. And instead of going around and sewing coming down, I'm going to cut first so that it's flat up there, because if I don't cut, it's going to have a little bit of a bump, and you don't want any bumps. You want it nice and smooth. You want it seamless. So sew it down and make sure you're sewing through the weft when you do this so that it's on that wig cap and on that lace tightly. And I'm coming down on the other side with the hair and making sure I place it going along the curve but outside the line. This is very important. It should be outside the lines, and I will explain why when we get closer to the end of making the part. But make sure you check in there and you know for a fact that it's outside the lines. And of course I'm gonna cut it off at the ends, sew it all the way down, and that is the first piece. So you can see the hair is going toward the middle. I'm going to do this again with another piece of hair, the exact same thing. This is a 3-step process, and this is the second step of laying the tracks. You will only lay tracks 3 times, and the second time, again, I'm gonna repeat that. The reason I'm doing this is because I need enough hair to cover all of the tracks. So go all the way up, and you're gonna cut the hair right there at the top, cut the track. And what I like to do is secure with a bobby pin. Again, you're going around that curve, then cut the track, then sew it down. Make sure it's nice and secure. Make sure you're sewing through the weft, not around the weft. And I like to use a blanket stitch when I do this. I will link a video that details how I sew. I will also try to find a video on the internet that tells you exactly what a blanket stitch is, so you won't be confused. And I'm going in there on the other side. This is the second half of what I split. And I'm gonna curve this going down on the other side after sewing everything down right there. And of course, this is gonna make sure that I don't have any lumps up there and my wig lies nice and flat at every point. So we're gonna come down with this hair, curving all the way around the last tracks that I laid down, and it's gonna be really tight and really close. You can still see the curve of the part, and this is the opening. And you can see that the hair isn't exactly on the line, but when you lay the track down, it will lie down on the line. It's just because I was sewing at a specific point, so of course it's not gonna be perfectly on the line. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go in and I'm going to feel around, and this track is going to be placed right in front of the first one that I laid down. This is the last step. This is the last hair that I'm putting here, and I'm gonna pin it down as I go. And what it's doing basically is going in that area that I didn't color in. Remember, I had the one area in the middle for the part, then the other area that I did not color in. That's basically where this hair is going to sit. And that's why I said do not put anything in that area, period. where I drew, nothing was supposed to go in because this is where this hair belongs. So I'm gonna sew it down, and this is what it looks like after sewing it down. I'm gonna pull on the hair so you can see just how secure it is. Just tug on it a little bit. Make sure you're sewing through the tracks. I know people always say don't sew through the weft, don't do it, it could damage the weft. You need to do it. Also, I'm flipping over so you can see what it looks like, and you will see it better when it's on my head. But what I'm gonna do is go to the other side and use another piece of hair. Again, make sure at the very top of the curve you cut the hair every time. Make sure that weft is split at the top, because if you go all the way around, you can create an environment where it's gonna be lumpy and bumpy. But this is what the inside is looking like, and you can't really see much of anything, but you will see it when I'm done. And basically, I'm gonna go ahead and sew the rest of the wig down like a traditional wig. I'm not gonna put too much emphasis on this part of the tutorial because I have so many wig making tutorials. There are like a million wig making tutorials on YouTube, but this is the general idea. Just go around until you get to the top, you know? It's not that complicated, and I feel like the part needed a lot more focus and detail, way more than this. I also didn't want the video to take too long because it's very easy for the video to take forever when showing stuff like this, because it's very detail oriented information. So, and this is what the hair looks like after the first bundle. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the second bundle. I only used 2 bundles and a little bit of hair. I did not need the third one at all. This hair is very full. I don't know what the weight is, but this is a lot of hair. So you will not need more than 3 bundles of hair if you choose to do this method, especially not in 16 inches. Maybe if you went in the neighborhood of 24 inches, I don't know if they sell 24-inch hair, but if you went with a longer length, very, very long length, you'd probably need 3 or more. But with 16, 18 inches, maybe 20 inches, you're not gonna need more than 3. So I'm closing the wig, and we are done. I need to wash this hair. So I went ahead and washed the hair, and this is what the part looks like in my hand. This is a terrible visual, but I'm gonna go ahead and clamp it down with a flat iron so it can be flat. Remember, the third weft was going over the other 2, and that was what was used for me to flip the hair over so I could have a part. And I put the wig on, so I am going to go ahead and color in my curved part. It's a very slight curve, not very curvaceous at all, but you can see the curve either way, and that was what was most important for me, just a little bit of curve on the side so it would look good. Also, this is lace you're dealing with. It's very flat and it looks nice, but when you put your wig on, you need to make sure that you don't put it on and pull too hard because you could rip the lace. And I am using a flat iron to straighten out the hair a little bit. It is kinky straight, but it looks more like Ripley straight, and it's kind of cute, but I didn't want that. I wanted it to look more like a blowout, not like a twist out blowout. So that's what I did with the flat iron, just light passes in the hair to make it look, you know, kind of like yucky, coarse black people with relaxer or blowout hair. And then I went ahead and brushed my hair out and shaped it and did all of that so it would look good, because it needs some work. And I did not color in the lines, you guys. Do not judge me, but it's really hard for me to see what I'm doing because I didn't use a mirror that was like up close to my hair. So you can see some makeup going out of the part. That's okay, you can clean that up. That's very easy to do. I did that later on, but what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is style my hair and make sure it looks good. I'm gonna shape it because of course no hair is gonna fall perfectly. when you make a wig, you need to cut some of it at the end so it can look even. And after shaping it a little bit, I did use some more heat on my hair. I went ahead and grabbed a curling iron so that I could have a little bit of a bang and get the hair out of my face just a little bit, because I hate hair in my face. It makes me uncomfortable and it also breaks me out. So just a little bit out of my face, very light bang, and brush it out. And that's what the hair is looking like. So I did go under and curl under just a little bit as well. It really didn't do much, but I think the hair looked really good. I hope this video helped somebody who was wondering about the part. There it is. You can see the curve is pretty obvious here. I did not know how to like show the curve, so I just moved my head around. It looks silly. If you have any questions, please visit the description box or just ask me. I'll have all the information about the hair, the products used, alternatives to products used, because some things that I used, I would have rather used something else, but the method, I would always do this. So this is a lot faster than the crochet method. I'll also link the crochet method down below if you want to see it, just out of curiosity, because I've been doing this for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. But that's all there is, you guys, and I'm done talking, and thank you so much for watching. As always, I will talk to you in my next video, but until then, take care.